Hello, my name is Aiden Black. This is my interpersonal relationships at work presentation. More than likely, work will be your second greatest time taker, so it is important to have strong, secure, and dependable relationships at work. Here is a pie chart of the average percentages of time takers in someone's life. As you can see, work and work-related activities, the big red one, is the biggest time taker in your life, while sleeping and personal care and family comes second. But yes, work is the most time taking too. According to the United States Department of Labor, professionalism does not mean wearing a suit or carrying a briefcase, but rather it means conducting oneself with responsibility, integrity, accountability, and excellence. In other words, it means communicating effectively and appropriately. Professionalism refers to the aims and behaviors that demonstrate a person's level of competence expected by a professional within a given profession. By the word aims, we mean that someone who exhibits professionalism is guided by a set of goals in a professional setting. Some common behaviors associated with professionalism can include acting ethically, respecting others, collaborating effectively, taking personal and professional responsibility, and using language professionally. And this is the video of professionalism at work.
Today's presentation will focus on what professionalism is and how to establish yourself as a professional. First, let's take a look at what professionalism means. It can mean many different things to different people. Some people focus on the importance of knowing how to do the work you've been hired to do. People don't see a doctor unless they've been properly trained and are ready to perform that profession. It's also important to note that professionalism goes beyond your ability to do your job. Some people may focus mainly on a professional outward appearance. For example, how you dress and put yourself together. Some may be more focused on the way one behaves with coworkers and customers. All of these aspects of professionalism are important to know and understand. In today's presentation, we will be discussing all of that. This is a great quote. Professionalism. It's not the job you do, it's how you do the job. So what exactly does this mean? Well, you can be a doctor or a janitor, and while the role and tasks in these professions differ, demonstrating professionalism can set you apart. For example, while a doctor may be good at his job, he may show up late to work on a regular basis. He could be rude with patients and talks down to his coworkers. You could also be a janitor who shows up on time and sometimes stays late to make sure all his work is done. He's also respectful to his coworkers and the employees that work in the buildings he cleans. Of these two, who do you think represent themselves as more of a professional? Why is professionalism important? It's important to remember professionalism is not dependent on the type of job you have or what education level you've completed. Whether you work in the food industry, in an office setting, or within the service industry, the value of professionalism is similar across the board. Let's explore some of the reasons professionalism is valued no matter what type of job you have. Career success. Professionalism affects every aspect of how you do your job. A lack of professionalism can cost you a promotion, a job, and may even get you fired. Professionalism is one of the biggest aspects of furthering your career. Relationships. Being professional allows you to build trustworthy relationships, not only with coworkers, but supervisors and customers as well. This can help you when you need a reference for another job, or an application for housing, or even school. When you exhibit professional traits, people often trust you more and will come to you because they know they will receive the respect and courtesy they are looking for. Building and maintaining professional relationships is a key aspect to building your network. So a network is a variety of professional individuals who can help connect you with other jobs, introduce you to important people, or even offer to be a reference for future jobs you may be interested in. Promotes respect. When you show respect to yourself by dressing appropriately, behaving in a manner that is kind, considerate, and respectful, you will It can be easy to resort to reacting in the same manner. However, this puts your reputation as well as the company you work for at risk. Allow yourself the space to be frustrated while also continuing to be respectful, even if others are not providing the same in return.
That is a quick video over professionalism at work.
That was not quick.
Here we go. Leader-follower relationships. Good leader-follower relationships conclude of greater input in decisions, mutual support, informal influence, trust, and greater negotiating latitude. While bad leader-follower relationships conclude of less support and trust, more formal supervision, little or no involvement in decisions, and less involvement from leader. To the left of this is a chart or circle chart that shows the 4 different types of leaders. There is a delegator, a supporter, a coach, and a director. Each one of these is different because while some treat followers as their best friend, others treat them as like, just do this, do this, do this. I don't care how you do it or how good you do it, just do it. That is an example of a bad leader-follower relationship, by the way. The outcomes of leader-follower relationships are higher levels of influence within the organization. Success, increased productivity, increased satisfaction, increased motivation, along with being more likely to provide honest feedback. Followership is the act or condition under which an individual helps or supports a leader in the accomplishment or organizational goals. Additionally, it's not a passive behavior and it consists of 2 major factors: courage to support the leader and courage to challenge the leader's behavior and policies. Just like the different types of leaders, there are also 4 different types of followers. There's an individualist. I said that wrong, but bear with me. A resource, a partner, and the implementer. And just like this, some followers don't just do what they're told, but do what's right for the company. Some do exactly what the leaders do, and some just walk off in the other direction, not caring. In coworker or peer relationships, there are 3 different types. Information peers, which are coworkers provide information about job tasks in the organization. Collegial peers, coworkers with whom one has moderate levels of trust, self-disclosure, and openness. And special peers, a best friend in the workplace with whom one has high levels of trust and self-disclosure. Workplace deviance is the voluntary violating behavior of organizational members that goes against significant organizational norms or practices or threatens the well-being of the organization and its employees. To the right is a list of different types of problematic relationships at work. Now there is a lot, so I'm just going to say 3 from each category. The bosses, there is the different boss, the good old boy/girl boss, the okay boss. For coworkers, there's the adolescent, the mild annoyance, the bully. And for subordinates, there's the okay subordinate, the abrasive harasser, and the bully. There are many books out there designed to help you deal with difficult people. We view them as problem people because they ultimately take more of our resources to deal with. There is a reason some writers refer to problem people as emotional vampires, because we have to use more of our emotional resources to deal with these people, and they increase our levels of stress along the way.
Workplace relationships are critical to your success, and so many professionals struggle with questions like, should I really have friends at work? Should I share my goals and aspirations with my coworkers? Who can I really trust? Who can I get along with? Here's the deal. Relationships are critical to your ability to succeed in any environment, whether you're working in a corporation, a nonprofit, or an academic setting, or a hospital setting. You need other relationships in order to maximize your success. And obviously, just like in your personal life, you don't manage all of your friendships in the very same way, then in your work environment, you may choose to manage those relationships a little bit differently. Now, the good news is people will pretty much tell you who they are. And when somebody reveals who they are, and you feel like that's a person I can really trust, then you deal with that accordingly until otherwise notified. If you get the feeling of, I'm not so sure, I want to trust my innermost secrets with that person, trust yourself and then deal with that person accordingly until otherwise notified. But you want to be able to share who you are authentically to all the people that you're working with, because that's the only way you're going to be able to see whether or not that is a superficial, surface relationship for you, or whether or not it can be something a little bit deeper. Now, I'm a big fan of starting off with extending my hand and sharing who I am and to see how people are going to react. I have learned not to wait for people to befriend me, because here's the thing that I've also learned is that many times people are as afraid of you or as you are of them. So if you're both waiting, then nothing's going to happen. So I'd like to start off and say, hey, I'm Carla. What brought you to this organization? Here's why I joined. What area do you work in? Here's what I'm doing. And if it's your coworkers and they were there before you were, say, hey, all right, I'm new girl on the block. So tell me what it is I need to know, because I'm here to make sure that we're all successful in whatever way that I can. I know that I have a lot to learn, but I think I'm a pretty fast learner, and I'll do you proud if you'll take the time to show me how I need to do whatever it is I need to do. And don't be discouraged if you run into a couple of people who are not so forthcoming, who are not willing to train you. Where one person won't, another one will. Just keep going person by person until you find that person that is willing to show you the ropes, that's willing to answer your questions. And always be that woman or that man that's interested in investing in somebody else's success. I will tell you that after over 30 years on Wall Street, I have learned that when you extend your intellect, your experience, and your relationships on behalf of somebody else, it comes back to you in ways that you could not have imagined. Your network always pays you back. So invest. Be that guy. Be that gal that's willing to invest in somebody else's success. And by the way, don't ever forget that people are watching you. So when you position yourself as that person, somebody's taking notice, even if they don't tell you. Now, when you have workplace conflict, or let's say you're walking into an organization that there's a lot going on, I mean a lot going on, lots of politics, lots of fear, rumors of a restructuring, I always tell my mentees, you are Switzerland. You're Switzerland. Make sure that you are not a part of the negative chatter in any way. If people are bringing it to you, then your response is, wow, But do not engage, because when it gets articulated that there was a conversation about this, that, or this thing, you don't want anybody to be able to say, oh, Carla said, or Carla mentioned, and it was negative. Because you don't know who it will be repeated to. And you want to be on the record as saying, I did not say that, I did not contribute this, and being very clear about what you said and how you said it. And the way that I've been able to make sure I'm not a part of those conversations is that I do not contribute to negative conversations. So when there is conflict, you make sure that you're the constructive voice, or you are no voice at all. And if there is conflict and there is something to be said, again, you always say it in a way that will bring things back together. Well, while there was conflict, here's how I'm thinking about it now in order for us to move forward. Or my point of view was this, and Jerry's point of view was that. I think that we can meet in the middle and do this. But always come to the conversation where the conflict is being debated. Always come to it with a constructive point of view. Make sure that your emotion is out of the room. If you're angry, if you are upset, walk the halls, walk digest that so that when you can come to the conversation, you can come in a calm, dispassionate, productive manner.
That was basically a short 6-minute overview of what we discussed. If you need a second person to explain to you. It is important to have interpersonal relationships at work because they enforce better mood, understanding, respect, and trust across the workplace. Furthermore, without interpersonal relationships at work, the workplace will not be as enjoyable as you will not have good relationship with your boss or bosses and coworkers, resulting in trust issues and other problems. Here is the exercise. I would like y'all as a group. This is the exercise. I would like y'all as a group to do the first one, to communicate with each other, and then in 3 minutes we'll talk about what your answer is. In both the coworker and subordinate categories, difference is viewed as a problem in the workplace. Why do you think so many workers have a problem with difference? How should management approach situations where difference is impacting coworker relationships or leader-follower relationships? In other words, the question is asking, why can difference be bad in the workplace? Discuss amongst yourselves. Come to a conclusion. Okay, now that y'all have thought about it, why do you think so many workers have a problem with difference?
I think workers have a problem with difference because you wake up, you get ready for a job, you go there, and you expect everything to go the way that it does every single day. But whenever someone comes in and they aren't being helpful, they're causing drama, they're complaining, they're, behind on stuff, it kind of puts a kink in the chains of productivity, and that really upsets people, and because a lot of people's job is on the line and they count on this person to make everything flow smoothly. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts within a workplace, and if one part is not working properly, kind of like a member of the body, then it messes up everything, and that will not only reflect badly on the person causing the difference, it will also look badly on everyone else because they will be affected by it as well as the person that is causing the difference.
That was a great answer.
Thanks.
Now you, stranger in the crowd. Now the second question. How should management approach situations where difference is impacting coworker relationships or leader-follower relationships?
So as a manager, you have to be aware of what's going on with your team. If you observe a situation or a situation is brought to you, you have to resolve it for the benefit of your team to maintain productivity. It could be something of somebody's doing a poor job at a certain task or falling behind, so you find out, why is this task not being performed? Are you strapped with other tasks that you're required to do? Are you running out of time? Is somebody low on work? Do we need to shift responsibilities? Are you not good at this particular task? Do you need additional training? And you work with that individual. If they're still not performing up to expectations, then you put them on a performance improvement plan, and you go through certain steps. You have reviews with them routinely. You talk about, this is what I've observed, this is the way it should be done. What are your thoughts on this? You give them something in writing so they can go back and think about it. You get their signature on it, and after a couple of months, hopefully the behavior improves. But if not, you may have to take action and remove that toxic member from your team.
That is also a very great answer. Very professional. Now the next exercise. How would you react if others violated respectable behaviors towards you as a coworker?
I would call them out in front of everybody and embarrass them. If they did it again, I would hit them.
That is a very intriguing answer. It's good, but it could be better. But that's okay, because there is no wrong answer in exercise. You can say that now.
Yeah, but if you hit them, you're going to be terminated for workplace violence. So, one, you do have to call out inappropriate behavior. And if you're not getting the result that you need, then you need to escalate it to the authority figure, manager, or boss, or something of that
Like
nature.
a teacher.
So, just say for example, I had a guy that was needing to take vacation, and so when he's out, somebody has to fill his role. And so the person that would be best suited to fill in for him, he's kind of grumpy and angry, doesn't want to fill in for that job. And so he doesn't say anything overtly, but he makes people feel uncomfortable when people ask him for help. And so this comes to my attention. I'm like, you need me to talk to him? And they're like, no, I don't want you to bother him. I was like, well, I have to. You brought it to me. I got to address the situation. And you know what? I go to him like, hey, I really need your help. Can you do this for me? He goes, yeah, no problem. See, no issue, right? But he made others feel uncomfortable. And so, you point it out. You say, look, this is just how he is. You let him do his thing. And you're like, okay, now this is what I need you to do. So, Aiden, on your slide talking about different leadership styles, is there one style that's better than the others, or do you use different styles at different times in different situations?
The type of leadership style you would use depends on the personality and skill set of your student, I guess you could say. If they are newly experienced, you should be more hands-on, kind of using the EDGE method, or explain, demonstrate, guide, and evaluate, which is the simplest way to teach something. But if they're more experienced, or if you've been with them for 3 years, or if they're even at a higher level than you, you can be more lenient to them and just say, hey, can you do this and do this next, instead of having to be with them every step of the way. And this is the bibliography
Can you hurry?
to show where I got my information from. Good job, bud.
Aiden, go back. I couldn't zoom in on it quick enough.